So friends, welcome you in this video. In previous video, we have seen the construction of DC machine. In this video, we'll see working of DC generator. So the DC generator is basically works on the principle of whenever flux is cut by a conductor, an EMF is induced which will cause a current to flow if the conductor circuit is closed. And the direction of this induced EMF is given by Fleming's right hand rule. Therefore, the essential components of the generator are the magnetic field, the conductor or a group of conductors, motion of conductor with respect to magnetic field. Okay, so let us see what is Fleming's right hand rule. So this rule indicates the direction of the induced EMF whenever we know the direction of magnetic field and motion. So this rule is in case of DC generator. So the statement says if we held first three fingers of right hand mutually perpendicular to each other, and if the forefinger indicates the direction of magnetic field, thumb indicate the direction of motion, then middle finger shows the induced current. So this is given by Fleming's. So it indicates the direction of induced current whenever we know the direction of magnetic field and motion. So this rule is often helpful in deciding the induced current in which direction. Now to understand the working of DC generator, let us understand what is singleton generator, or it is called singleton alternator or simple loop generator also. In this case, we have considered the permanent magnet N and S pole. Inside this permanent magnet, there is a single turn which consisting of two sides, with one side conductor A and B and another side conductor D, C and D. Now this conductor will rotate inside this permanent magnetic field in clockwise direction. The positions are given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So this conductor will rotate in clockwise direction so as to induce the alternating current in the conductor. So these 2 points are brought out where we'll see the induced EMF. Now let us consider position 1. At this position, that means the conductor AB will be this side and CD will be at this side. So this is a vertical position. At this position, the conductor and magnetic field are parallel to each other, then there will be no EMF induced. So this is the point 1 where no EMF will be induced in the conductor. Now this conductor now rotated from position 1 to 2. So EMF start inducing. So this is the curve from this 1 to 2. Further, this conductor is rotated up to point 3. So that means from this one point to this third point. So there is a total rotation will be 90 degree. So we'll see the maximum EMF will be induced, which is at 90 degree, third position. Continuous in rotation at position 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and again 1. We'll see the alternating current waveform at different instantaneous values 4, 5. At 5 it will be 0. Look at that. This is position 1, this is position 5. Whenever this conductor rotating and coming to position 5, the EMF induced will be 0, because in vertical this is the starting position. In the vertical position, the conductors and magnetic field both are parallel to each other, and at this case the EMF induced will be 0. Whenever the magnetic field axis is perpendicular to each other, then there will be a maximum EMF induced, that is at position 3 and at position 7. At position 3 the EMF induced will be maximum, and at position 7 the EMF induced will be negative maximum. Again rotating continuously at position 7, 8, 1, so we'll get a complete cycle, that is 360-degree rotation of these conductors. We can say one cycle. So this is what the singleton generator. We can consider, or we can study this singleton generator to understand how the EMF can be induced in the conductors. So what we have seen, whenever the flux is cut by conductor and EMF is induced. So this is what the flux is cut by this conductor AB and CD, because it is rotating in the permanent magnetic field, and then EMF induced in conductor AB and CD. We can collect this EMF. One thing we have to note here, the EMF induced will be AC, right? The induced EMF of a conductor is given by this formula. So it is denoted by small e and BLV sin theta, where B is magnetic flux density in Weber per meter square at Tesla, L be the length of conductor, V be the velocity in meter per second, and theta is the angle by which the conductor rotates. That means this is the vertical axis, this is horizontal axis, and the rotation from this axis, so that angle will be theta. For example, if the flux density is 1 Tesla, length 1 meter, velocity of conductor is 1 meter per second, and the angle is 90 degree, so we get EMF induced will be 1 volt. Okay, here it comes the role of commutator. As we have seen here, the singleton alternator, it generate or induced EMF in terms of alternating current, alternating quantity. Then the commutator is a mechanical rectifier which converts this alternating current or voltage into the direct current or voltage. As we have seen in previous video lecture, how commutator works. So it contains a copper segment insulated from each other by mica sheet and mounted on the shaft. So this is what the commutator. So this singleton generator we have considered. So these 2 points are brought out. Now here 2 points are connected to different commutator segments C1 and C2. So this side positive, this side is negative. Whenever this conductor rotated by 180 degree, it will change their position, but the induced EMF at a particular side is same. And with respect to the changing of this conductor, the commutator segment also changes. So that's why resultant at one side the induced EMF is always positive, and the another side it is always negative. So it is like a rectifier. So if we see the output waveform at this load resistance R, this type of waveform we can observe. EMF induced or voltage with respect to the time or angle. So this will be a DC. So here this is the role of commutator. Now let us see EMF equation of DC generators. Consider phi with a flux per pole, Z with the total number of armature conductors, P with the number of poles, A with the number of parallel paths, that is equal to 2 for wave winding and equal to P for lap winding. So what is wave and lap winding? We have seen it in earlier video. N with the speed in RPM, speed of armature in RPM. E is the EMF of the generator, EMF per parallel path. Now the flux cut by one conductor in one revolution of the armature, that is d phi, is equal to p phi Weber. So whenever one conductor will rotate in one revolution, so it will cross p number of poles and cuts phi Weber of flux. So the d phi total flux cut will be p into phi. And time taken to complete one revolution, dt, is 60 by n second. So in terms of second, it will be 60 by n. So the EMF generated per conductor d phi by dt, this is from Faraday's law, d phi by dt, rate of change of flux with respect to time. So at that time EMF will be induced. So that is, after putting this p phi 60 by n, so it becomes p phi n by 60 volts. EMF of generator Eg, that is equal to the EMF per conductor into number of conductors in series per parallel path. Now simply we have to multiply this equation p phi n by 60 with the number of conductor per parallel path, that is Z by A. So we have indicated it a total number of armature conductor by Z, the parallel path by A. So rearranging, we get the final EMF induced in the DC generator is P phi n Z by 60 A, which is denoted unit in terms of volts. Now one thing we have to put here, the number of parallel paths becomes 2 for wave winding and it is equal to P for lap winding. So one thing I'll tell you here, the wave winding is preferable for low current high voltage application and lap winding is preferable for high current low voltage application. So that values we have to put in EMF equation for the particular type of wind. So this is the EMF equation of DC generator, which often helpful to determine the induced EMF in the generator. Okay, so thank you for watching this. These are the references. Thank you.